Hello, I'm Shia, and today we're going to start a new rank cast called Ranking with Shia. In this series, we're going to be talking about different series of movies, like from Jurassic World to Tremors. Now, shall we begin with our first series, the Jurassic Park series? Our first movie is Jurassic Park, our second movie is Jurassic Park: The Lost World, our third movie is Jurassic Park 3, fourth movie Jurassic World, after that Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, then Jurassic World Dominion, and finally Jurassic World Rebirth. In this podcast series, I'm going to rank all these different movies, and at the end of this series, we're going to see which one is the best. Jurassic Park to Jurassic World. Now, let's begin, shall we? Our first movie we're going to rank is Jurassic Park, and here's why we're going to rank it first. Obviously, it's the first movie. Steven Spielberg made this after the famous novel Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton, who inspired the series to become such a big financial hit. There are many things about this movie that make this series great. It inspired a lot of good things, so we should get down to that. Let's start with some basic things. Let's start with the dinosaurs. It's a pretty basic set of how many there were in the movie. A lot of people love the scene of the T-Rex breakout, which makes this movie very popular. A scene that everyone loves is the final scene where the T-Rex grabs the raptors and the flag that says "When dinosaurs ruled the earth" fell down. I see great money from this movie. I sure do. Now, this movie, he also had many other things in it. For example, the kitchen in the raptor scene. Two young children named Tim and Lex were hiding in the kitchen from two velociraptors, otherwise the Big One. The Big One is a major raptor in the Jurassic Park movie that is really dangerous. Now let's talk about some other things, like the characters. The great characters, Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, and Ian Malcolm, come back into the movie, originally from the novel. Now, is there any other characters you're probably asking? There are some new characters like Jeffrey Brown, who is at the beginning of the movie, who's getting eaten by a raptor. And then some more returning characters include John Hammond, who is both rude and funny. And we have the lawyer, his sidekick, you could say. And we have Muldoon, and I always forget his name. Arnold or something? Anyway, the most villainous character in this movie is Dennis Nedry, for he is the reason the climax started with all the dinosaurs being free. If it weren't for Nedry, there would be no point of this movie, and it would not be as big as a financial hit. But, as saying, he grabbed all the embryos and left with all the park systems failing, making this movie not only about dinosaurs, but chaos and power. Two things humans somehow can't control. Power is always when someone has so much of something that you can't believe it. Chaos leads up after to power. Everyone always thinks humans rule Earth itself, but this movie showed that humans will never rule the Earth itself. You probably want to know why, huh? Well, in the movie it talks about God and chaos. God, he's like the leader of everything, and we're just like the little workers that make his factory, you could say, run. And we always want to surprise or make a new product, you could say. And when we do, we end up getting chaos sometimes, and that leads to major problems. Without chaos, there is no point of the word peace. I mean, what is peace itself? Anyway, chaos is a big thing in this movie, and I think it will always be. And now some other things that make this movie quite interesting. The visitor center is where the famous scenes have happened. My personal favorite scene is the T-Rex in the banner scene, and I think it's a lot of other people's too. Now, there are some other places that are in this movie besides the visitor center. There is the landing pad where they leave and get to Jurassic Park. There is also the T-Rex paddock where the T-Rex breaks out and another one of the most famous scenes happens. I think the other setting that a lot of people know is the waterfall area, where Dennis must bring his car back down and hopefully get out of the area. But as some people already know, Dennis Nedry never made it out alive. There was a Dilophosaur there, and maybe they had a tea party, or maybe they were playing with dolls. P.S. Dennis never made it out alive. Anyway, another famous scene I would say is the hand, where the hand is away from its body, and Ellie Sattler must run away from the Velociraptor. In that scene, Muldoon also appears, getting ready to shoot a raptor. Well, technically tranquilized. But one of the most famous quotes in that movie happens at that moment. A raptor appears behind Muldoon, and that's when he says, "Clever girl." I personally love that saying so much. It was pretty famous in my opinion, and it did inspire some other quotes. If you see Netflix oddballs, you know what I mean. Anyway, the setting helps this movie out a lot. These settings I just mentioned give the story or the movie everything it needs. Now, some other parts of the movie that I would say are good. The Triceratops part is kind of sad and fun in a way. But I think one of the best scenes in the movie is actually at the beginning. The Brachiosaur. The first time Alan, Ian, and Ellie and Donald see a dinosaur. That part literally made my mouth drop, and I was like, this is control. This is a lot of power. And I would say that would be great if there were actual dinosaurs. The beginning is pretty good. The first half of the movie is peace. And at first, everyone loves peace, yeah. But what is peace? That's when chaos comes in, and we finally, what's peace? Peace is something that prevents chaos. Chaos helps peace run. If there were no chaos, then there would be no peace, and there would be no point of life itself. Then the chaos part comes, where all dinosaurs are free. That part of the movie is the part of the movie I love. The T-Rex break out, the Brachiosaurs, the Raptor kitchen, the T-Rex in the banner, everything. All those are great. I would personally watch chaos part since that's the most fun part, but also the most understanding part in the theory of chaos. So if you want to see that movie part, you can. Now, what are some other aspects of the movie you're probably wondering? The scenes. These different scenes make the movie have more potential fun, you could say. For example, the first scene, I would say that is great, is the Brachiosaur scene, where the Brachiosaur gets up on the tree and eats some gentle leaves. Then it's the other parts would be something like the raptors. Yes, the raptors for sure. The raptors eating that cow scene. When I see kids watching that movie, I see like them at the first part like, this is boring. But then 5 seconds later, after the cow hook comes back, they see it torn to shreds, and they're like, where's the cow? Anyway, that is one of the most funnest things I love seeing. Always it's the kids freaking out. I would also say the T-Rex scene, escaping the paddock. That is one of the key best scenes in the entire movie. Out of all of them, the best scene. Another good scene is the Gallimimus chase, where there's, well, I don't know how many galleys, but lots of Gallimimus running through a normal field, and then they take cover by a log, and then a large T-Rex just comes out of the sun and it just grabs one of them. I actually have some Giphy of that, and the T-Rex is just shaking the Gallimimus. It's hilarious. Anyway, back to topic. And the kitchen scene with the raptors. That is another famous scene where two kids, as I already, Tim and Lex, hide in the kitchen from raptors. In that scene, Tim, who quickly dodges out of the way, traps a raptor in a freezer and locks the door. I tell you, that's the Ice Age itself. but the Ice Age never had dinosaurs. Anywho, another scene that's great is the control room. The control room scene is like, everyone's like, oh, will they make it? Will they make it? And I'm like, I've seen this movie 1,000 times, they'll make it, but they're like, but will they make it? Yes, they made it. Luckily, just before the raptor got him, the door shuts, keeping the raptor out. But then the glass broke and a bunch of other things happened. And then the final best scene is the T-Rex in the banner. That's when the T-Rex all of a sudden comes in and attacks all the raptors. I mean, the raptor's about to jump on him and then snap! The T-Rex comes. Wait, I want to try that T-Rex sound again. I mean, that scene was sick. And then the final scene, just looking out the window of a helicopter and looking at the real dinosaur today. A bird. At first, when I saw it, I was like, so who cares? But once you get older, you realize it's more beautiful when you actually think about it. Dinosaurs and men have been separated 65 million years. This movie would show what would happen if humans had the power to bring back one of the most dominant species to live on this planet. And they think they rule the planet, but nah. The humans don't. As I already mentioned in this video, humans don't have all the power. The real people who actually do have the power is God itself. And once God gets rid of something, he does not want it back for some reason. And that's a very good thing. In many ways, most people don't think about it, but it's actually pretty smart in my opinion. Anywho, that's what I think of Jurassic Park. As we explained in this video of the dinosaurs, the scenes, the setting, and the characters. And chaos and peace. This has been great talking to you all. Now for where does it go in the ranking slot out of all the 7 movies? Well, it's the first movie we're ranking, so if you haven't guessed it by now, it's number 1 on our list. I hope you guys like my video. Please subscribe. And till next time, peace.